in 3, in 2, in 1. Welcome to Borderline Relevant, a podcast from Borderline Tactical. I'm Ish, and with me today are Paz.
Hey.
Duh.
Hello.
And standing in for Spanny, Stills.
Hi.
So today I'm drinking a cold cup of Orange Pekoe, which I assume will be the title again. Unless anybody has anything to add on the drinks front, we'll get on with things.
I've got an empty cup of tea and a ripped up bank bill.
I'm drinking some girly sweet Moscato.
I can't afford water, so I can't sit here.
True. Alright, so we're going to have a little bit of a start today with a recap of the attacks we've had in the past couple of weeks, I think. Now, I was absent for the second one, but I remember the first one being by Paz and being horrific in the sense that we all died.
Yes.
No, hey, no, you didn't. You survived.
Oh, no, I died twice before that. I was wrapped in the flaming shell of a tank.
Oh yes, I do remember that now.
So I put a tank and a linebacker, which is the IFV or the anti-air missiles, thinking that they'd, like, with no problem at all, knock out the KA-52. Opposite way around, KA-52 demolished them without, like, even being detected.
Oh, we detected it. We went, oh look, there's 2 smoke trails coming in from over there. I wonder what that is.
But
Boom.
when I first said I'm going to make a campaign, I said some of the missions will be ridiculous. So I kind of backs myself up on that one. But we will replay that mission, hopefully, and I'll just take that helicopter out of it and see how far we get.
I still say that mission was a success in the fact that we
it was
made
a fun mission.
We made it halfway in as an infantry squad after the 2 tanks got destroyed, and then we made a retreat, and the retreat was fun, especially Pope's constant running into the sun and coming out with another body on his back.
Yeah, it went quite well.
Of Pope carrying people out. I don't film my own missions. It's a thing.
Well, so pop that into the description at the bottom, because Pope's heroic are truly legendary, and we shall be singing songs of his bravery over the mead and whatnot.
Yeah. Same as last time, I'll put the videos in order as they mentioned, as well as this podcast will have an MP3 on a SoundCloud at some point when it gets uploaded, for those guys that want an MP3 version. Nice. Otherwise, after that mission, we went to our backup mission, which is Genesis, which is on Altus. So it was my very first mission I made. That one's always been fun. Everybody enjoys it.
Yes.
And that went off without a hitch.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually.
Yeah, that went quite well.
I was disappointed. I put a lot of effort into those mines, and then you just blew up the thing before it got to them. Waste of time.
Yeah. Wait, it blew up I don't even want to know. Second mission was in Pakistan, actually. Where were we? We were assaulting the major town. I can't remember the name of it. It was alright. Like, it wasn't an overly eventful mission, but we wiped everything out and got home safely. Or most of us did.
And did we debut the sniper team?
Yes. Good times with the sniper team.
Now, how did that go down? Because, as we know, the sniper team has been a point of some contention.
Oh, well, marksman has been the topic everybody's going on about. Like, ooh, marksman, we're never going to put it in, it needs to be trialed. Spanny, you're not here. I reckon marksman's a great idea.
I agree completely.
Say about it.
every shot I fired, I missed a shot. So marksman would have been incredibly helpful.
I think a lot of people are scared about marksmen as the same way they're scared about having a Kaz chopper come in. Oh look, the enemies are all dead. What am I going to shoot now?
Yeah, we had a lot of Kaz, but it wasn't as bad as the when you made your mission, Hop. Kaz just completely emptied the map out for everybody.
I regret that, and I look at that mission going, I should have given you guys GLs or a mortar instead.
Yeah. Whereas Pope's one, there was quite a bit of Kaz. And
there's a lot of cast.
Yeah, there was a lot of cast.
Well, you got to consider that with a marksman, they're not only operating at like super long distances over like a kilometer or so, so they're useful and effective, like a rifleman is. So I don't think you're at too much of a disadvantage. Whereas if you're like a sniper team, then it becomes quite complex.
Because we can't clean out buildings.
We were recon pretty much. It's just that I was being a bit, lax with it, saying like, Styles, engage that. Like, I'm not going to just sit here and recon for a whole mission.
Yeah.
You
And
do
also-
like the sitting down component of this game, don't you?
Oh, I love the sitting down component. If you've watched the Matt video,
It's true.
I
Although-
get to keep tabs of the videos I've mentioned.
Yeah, but a lot of us sit down for a living, so then you end up with this sort of like, you know.
Well, no, I'm a worker.
Oh,
I'm
sure
like a
thing.
tradie. My
Right.
holidays is when I go back to uni and get to sit in chairs and do this all.
Yeah. Well, I thought it went quite well. We all handled that pretty well, I thought.
Yeah,
Although,
no,
yeah,
it's-
some training would be handy.
it was a good mission. Probably the one standout thing for a couple of us was when I died, there was one unit left, one enemy unit left on the map, and it managed to take out 4 of us in a single sort of burst. And
Yeah, we all saw that one.
It's all synonymous. There was another mission. Actually, it was Paz's first mission when we tested it before it actually went on attack. One enemy unit took out 7 of us.
Yeah, but to be fair, he was
Ow.
lying down in the shade.
Yeah, and like they're all like, "Oh, where is he? Where is he?" And yeah, it took out 7 of
The,
us.
the
So
spectator mode on the F3, like if you're dead and you're sitting in that spectator mode with everybody else, like you're having a party, like just praying.
Oh, we were
that the
cheering
AI
on the
demolish
AI,
everybody.
yeah.
yeah, you generally do cheer on the AI.
Yeah, it was me, Stills. It was at Maxi, and we're all just cheering on
Yeah.
like the AI that's about to kill Hop.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
no.
no.
It caught me in the crossfire because it shot Spanny and I think it was Maxi with Spanny up close, and I was like a good 200-300 meters behind them, and in that crossfire, it's come across and pegged me one in the face.
I wonder if we can get him to join the clan. We need someone who's that accurate.
But yeah, that was the 2 tacks of the week. Both really good, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree.
Had their own sort of niggles, but both solid.
So, moving on from that, those might be some of the last ones with our current mod pack, and there is a link on the forums, I believe now, which goes over what the proposed expanded mod pack or replacements the current mod pack are going to be.
Sort of proposed. You guys are going to have to
Sort of.
download it.
Yes, we might be slow on the uptake. I'm not, obviously.
About a month.
But as part of this, there is going to be the great movement to Ace 3.
Yes.
And we have with us Pazrules, who is now an internet superstar with his recent how to use it.
Like 17,000 views in total because I've been spamming the Reddit.
Really?
Someone put up a video on my
Is it
Reddit-
really 17,000?
Reddit, watch this, and they're like, "Oh god, not another one." They click on it, and it gives me a view. I didn't
Let's
even want
monetize.
I didn't even want to monetize the videos either because I haven't made any money off them. So those poor buggers have had to watch ads. I mean, I've got ad blocker. I think everybody else on the internet has ad blocker.
Yeah.
But I only monetized them so I could stream for like other reasons. But then again, Steam has a good streaming service. But otherwise, yes, Ace. I'm thinking we'll do a server wipe and get rid of all the old AGM missions because converting them isn't it isn't hard, but you know, Ace is going to be like the main sort of thing.
There's nothing there which is worth probably
basically,
updating.
Yesterday I got home at work at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I was fed up that we weren't using Ace because it's been like 4 weeks waiting for the F3 framework, which is what we use to build our missions. And I thought, like, you know, stuff it. So I had a chat to Captain Nick, who's like head of putting Ace into the F3 framework, and he basically, like, you know, had a chat with him. All his stuff was good to go. So Ace was implemented, it just wasn't an official release. So I grabbed all those files, stuck it into the framework, spent about 12 hours putting it all together, and finished up about 2 hours ago. It's about 12 hours in total. Everything's working. It's great. We're just yet to use it.
Yeah, I've sort of been half hanging out for Ace. Probably, well, we'll get to this later, as the vehicle thing is probably my one contention.
Oh yeah, I want to mention that.
Ace is, I just feel Ace is a good upgrade from AGM, which it kind of is because it's the AGM guys working with old Ace 3, old Ace 2 developers and the guys who are, what's the other medical system in Arma 3?
Yeah, see.
CSE, yeah.
Yeah, so it's those 3 groups stuck into one group and making one big Ace, which is really, really good.
So
With
give
the
us a quick
CSA.
overview of it then. So what is the scope of Ace?
Well, Ace makes Arma, which is a realism simulator when it comes to like everything. So you're gonna have to mill dot your sniper rifles. You're gonna have to like treat people as if you would from like a medical profession. Like everything. It's just a all-round. It's an expansion pack, really. If you're one of those old-school gamers where you pay your $10 and get an actual expansion pack instead of getting some useless DLC. Not saying like the armored stuff's DLC is useless, but I mean like games in general now. Everything's a DLC content. Whereas like back in the day, which you know, back in the day I'm only 19. Used to get an expansion pack.
That's up now.
And that expansion pack would be like the whole new game. So yeah, that's what Ace does. I guess Ace is like what DayZ was to Arma 2. It adds a whole new way of playing it.
Not really, because I had Ace 2 in Arma 2 as well, which is the same thing.
Yeah, but if I say Ace 2 and Arma 2 is the same as like Ace 3 and Arma 3, it's just the same thing, and nobody has any perspective on it.
True. Got to give our audience a little bit of credit to know what it is.
CSE medical system, they don't have the defibrillator yet. I want to see that in there.
Do you reckon they'll go defib? Because that's not something...
You'd be surprised. Like, defibrillators are everywhere these days.
True.
You can look up a map on the internet of every single defibrillator in Australia.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, I'd be excited to see the future of, Ace. I mean, I remember playing it back in Arma 2 with a clan called... Wait, are we allowed to advertise?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, a clan called Tactical Gamer, and they were really great with the Ace, because they utilised all of it. So you had the body bags, and you could, if any of your units went down, you had to body bag them when all the firing had stopped, and drag them back to the Humvees and stuff. It was great. I had a great time using those little things. Because not everyone would use them. You'd have a lot of people, firing at each other and watching tanks cook off, but there are all these other things that build up with Ace, and I think those are the things that make it so special.
Yeah, missions
very
with logistics are good missions.
Yeah.
Very much.
So each of you, what's the thing that you think is in Ace that you're most looking forward to doing once it comes in? Paz.
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I love the medical system.
Huh?
That's like my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, medical is probably the one thing, because it's going to be a nice change and a new challenge. Probably the biggest thing for me with the medical in itself is, if we do it, the implementation of using the FAK system, FAK. Is it the FAK, or have they changed the name?
PAK, Personal Aid Kit.
Oh, sorry, PAK. Personal Aid Kit in conjunction with a vehicle or a location. Which for a brief synopsis, is basically, okay, you get hit, you go down, you get patched up by your field medic, but you become, it seems that with Ace, you become combat inefficient, which is...
Your main.
Yeah, you're inefficient in battle because you can't run or whatever, so you have to get... The idea of the pack is you have to get back to a location, say a medical Humvee or a medical chopper or a facility somewhere on the map, where a doctor or another field medic can actually patch you up to being fully ready to go again, and then you can go back into battle, or... depending on the mission maker, you could maybe make it that that person is then combat inefficient completely.
Because really, like, the pack's kind of like a god item. It just fixes the player totally. Because, like, realistically, you shouldn't have the pack. Like, if you've been shot in the leg and your leg's like not bleeding, you've been patched up, and you can't walk anymore, well, then you can't walk anymore. Like, that's it for you.
Yeah, that's
character, like, or go home. Like,
yeah.
Are you interested in that as well, the medics, or is it something else?
I'm really looking forward to the FCS. So, the fire control system for the tanks. That'll be really cool. Having airburst ammunition and stuff will be really sweet. Looking forward to that the most. Although the medical stuff will be cool. I really wish they added frags. I don't think they're adding fragmentation in this one.
Oh, they did?
No,
they took
did.
it back out. They
got rid of it,
apparently.
Oh, if it comes back in the future, I'd be wrapped, but,
The fragmentation can sometimes just go on infinitely.
Yeah, that's why they need a limited. I remember I was watching one of Anuba's videos, I don't know his name, on Bohemia, and he's one of the devs, and he came up with a solution which was that it would fragment, but it would only affect it would ray trace, so essentially it would shoot out a series of rays, and if they hit a player, that player would take damage. So you wouldn't get the visual pleasure of watching all these like fragments and spall hit the ground and bounce off things, but you would get hit from frags, which you never usually got. So if you were far enough away, and one of these rays did hit you, you would still get injured by it, which is really sweet.
I saw that, like, what was it? A grenade went off, and I think, 2 kilometers? One of those rays that hit somebody?
Yeah.
I think that was actually a mortar, because I think I saw the same video. It was a mortar. A mortar hit like a good 2-3 kilometers away. A guy standing on a balcony. They show two different shots. They show one shot with the mortar going off and nothing happens. The guy's just standing there. Do. Then they shoot another mortar, and you see, because it shows the pathing of all the different fragments. And you see this one fragment go like 2.5 k's, smack this guy in the gut, and he goes down.
That's crazy.
So fragmentation would be excellent, but yeah, making it work and not hurt the server in terms of performance is probably the main thing that's holding it back, because you got to look at the physics that it's trying to implement.
Yeah, it's true.
Now,
but overall, yeah, that'll be cool.
Did we talk about the whole vehicle thing?
Oh yeah.
Vehicle thing?
Alright, so what's happened is RHS doesn't use CBA like every other mod made for Arma. Oop, my computer just gone to sleep. So everything's okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So, CBA is the absolute standard for every single mod Arma has ever produced. People have produced for Arma. However, RHS, which is like one of the biggest mods, I think they've won the Make Arma Not War. They don't use CBA. They have like their own system. So because they use a different base to what Ace is using, because Ace is using CBA, they don't pair up. So you can't like incorporate Ace vehicles, like how Ace vehicles are going to work for the RHS vehicles. And because obviously we're a community that uses RHS quite heavily, especially the vehicles, Ace isn't going to like work with that. And how Ace has been going is like you put your mod into Ace. So if you got a cool mod on the Armaholic or whatever it is, and Ace says, if you want your Ace to work with your mod, you've got to do the work for that to happen. Ace is kind of like a community thing, and RHS is kind of said like, well, we were here before you, so Ace has said, well, no, you've got to like make things work with us, and it's just turned into like a big, I don't know, whether like a big discussion, flame war, whatever it is, like you do the work, we do the work, something like that. So it's kind of like it's held back Ace for quite a while because they're trying to sort out who has to do what work. So yeah, that's why.
That's a real shame.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame. Yeah. Like I mean, RHS has made a great mod, but I still think RHS should have to incorporate themselves to Ace. Like I'm looking at it from the Ace perspective. I don't know if you guys see it from the RHS perspective of them being here first and they did it differently, but that's how I see it.
It does seem strange that they would pick to go an entirely different route. And I don't understand whether there's a technical reason for that or whatever, but that's not really typical of the Arma modding community as I understand it. It's CBA is the standard and everyone bolts into that, because that way everyone can interact with everyone else.
Yeah. Because the only reason we have joint rails on the server is so you can use RHS scopes and attachments with vanilla guns. That's because they don't use that same base mod. So then there's also another one. You need to have a config fix that allows the RHS weapons to do reasonable amounts of damage to standard vehicles. So there's a lot of fixes that have been uploaded as mods that aren't part of RHS, just because they've used a different base. Like, it is quite annoying, because we try to keep the mods on our server to a minimum. And having to put in, like, extra fixes, which we haven't done. Like, we only have joint rails, we don't have that, the armor, you know, like, tank armor, that mod fix. So,
that would explain my, poor shooting with the, RHS weapons. Marksman. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we use the TF-47 launchers, that kind of fixes up the damage to vehicles. Sort of. Like, RHS vehicles, they handle completely differently. It's a lot of mucking around.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot to Ace, and the best place for anyone to get an idea of what's going on could be your video sequence.
Yeah, I'll put a link on the playlist.
Put a link. So, first thing is, they appeared out of the blue. Really?
Hopster's idea, I think.
Ah.
Yeah, it was when we were first talking about the podcast as well. We're like, oh, how can we drum up some publicity? Because at the time we were sort of stagnating in terms of members. We weren't getting sort of any traffic through anywhere. And so we're like, oh, what ideas can we have to increase
Drawing new
just
members.
traffic in terms of the server. Yeah, and look at drawing in some new members. And we're like, oh, we could do some YouTube videos, some instructionals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, because I've been sort of following Ace from the start, going, oh, I can't wait for this, and constantly checking YouTube for new updates and whatnot. But there was nothing out there. Like, there was a couple of extremely long, drawn-out, sort of 20, 30 minute videos of
I've
people
got one of
going.
those.
So,
I hate.
so
Yeah.
so this is Ace, and this is how you use the medical system, and they'd poke around, and they'd actually be
how
learning how
awesome
to use
was-
it on the spot.
They just kind of jumped onto it and sort of said, like, they figured out how to use Ace in the video. So you'd have a 30-minute video that would only give you about 2 minutes of information,
Yeah, exactly.
which I absolutely hate. Like, I hate watching videos of people play Armor purely because it's just so slow.
Yeah,
That's why all of my videos are just the super cuts. So when
He's
I
saying
make
is he
the
doesn't
Ace
like my
videos-
videos, but there you go.
Oh, I like the intro to your videos. I love that bit of intro music. But I don't watch them because I was there that night, so I've got a good memory and I don't really watch back on them.
Yeah, I think with watching Armor videos, personally, I watch like Dyslexy again, throwing it to Dyslexy. I watch his videos, and I'm a little bit selective. I'll generally watch all of his stuff that's under 5 minutes. His longer stuff, that's the half an hour to 45 minutes. I'll watch about 75% of the time, but I will find myself just sort of skipping through little bits until I find something that's a little bit more impactful. And with info bites for things like Ace, I don't want to be sifting through 20 minutes of nothingness to get that 5 minutes of stuff. I just want my information, which I think is where Paz is nailed on the head.
Yeah, because Spanny told me he like found them addicting. Or was it Ursh? I think it was both
I
of you.
started watching one after the other. I think Spanny may have done the same. You're right. It's quite interesting that you've got a series. I'm looking now through YouTube and doing a search, and yeah, you've got some which are, 20 minutes long, 27 minutes long?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
terrible. Like, all of them are hitting the 30-minute mark.
But
And then-
there are a number here which are 343, and it just says the Mortars tutorial, and it's got 4,700 odd views.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That was actually probably one of the things that kicked me into talking about as well. Was there was one particular video on mortars and how to use the range tables properly, and it was to the point. Took about 4 minutes. Took you through the entire mortar process in that 4-minute process. Where I'd seen other videos where they set it up and then they spoke about it for a little bit and then
Yeah,
they
and
tried
they
to use it.
Realize it
and
doesn't work the way they thought it was going to.
then, yeah.
So like, I actually figured out how to use all the items in Ace while I was making the video, but I did it like 5 minutes before because I absolutely hate editing videos. So I was like, figure out how it works. Took me 5 minutes, and then I just made a video quickly of how it works. Purely because I'm lazy and didn't want to have to do all the editing, so I just made them as short as possible.
Yeah. But in terms of those videos, what else have we got? We've got you've done 3 medical videos because there's
There's
4.
four and an extra.
There's quite a bit of stuff in the medical.
Yeah, I put one up for Mission Makers so you learn how to use the modules. Stills, were you going to say something earlier?
If I was, I forgot.
Oh well.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw it as like there's a hole in the market and quickly fill it, so like we get attention.
No,
And
that's good
you know,
though. It's handy because you've got all these people who are just pretty much crawling to you for all this information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Surprisingly,
you know, an
they're
information.
not that big. Like, I thought they would have kicked off a little bit more.
No.
I think at tops, the Ace videos kind of pushed like just to the 1,000 view mark each.
1,284. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that bandwagon has sort of moved on because the groups that wanted Ace have already sort of jumped onto that Ace bandwagon, so they're already using it. So they have people within the community that can on hand teach people how to use it.
yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of those communities, in terms of the medical system and some of the more dynamic things like the ranging and stuff, they've got guys that are dedicated to doing those roles, so they don't have the random guy jumping on trying to be a medic.
Yeah. But like even Spanny today downloaded Ace, even though he's watched all my videos and all that, and he said he loves them and he's addicted to them. He put Ace in today, loaded in, and he said, "Wow, this is Ace! Oh, this is amazing!" Like he just had no idea how good it was. And I found that brilliant. Like, what do you mean? You watched them all, you knew how it worked. It's like, yeah, but I never actually did it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like a massive amount of like I don't know positive feature shock. So you've got all these things which come and you're like, wow, all this cool shit. Although that being said, you do you guys think that we should be retraining regarding some features of Ace?
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Like with medics are going to be like a dedicated sort of thing. Like I'm not gonna. I reckon I'm gonna train the medics because I do medicine and shit like that.
Yes.
But pure like mainly because if you're gonna play medic, we're gonna use the advanced system most of the time, almost all the time.
Yeah, and it's such a different system. You've got to, instead of just going, oh, you're in pain, here's some morphine. It's, oh, you're in pain, but what's your heart rate at? And
yeah, and you need to know the standards for that. I mean, sure, it's not that hard, but you need to know what you're doing. Like, you can't, for every soldier on the field, all they need to know is if I'm hurt, bandage where I'm hurt. For the medic, they need to know, like, where you're hurt, how to fix it, and then the best treatment to fix it.
I'm going to wait for Ace 3.5 with the how to suit your minigame.
Yeah.
That would be actually pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's like how we always talk about the marksman. As great as, I mean, there's no way I'm going to play marksman. I can spot for a marksman and give them the numbers to fire, but I'm just, I don't want to have to do that myself.
It's very stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Because you miss that shot, you've got to recalculate and before they start moving.
Yeah, and it's like it turns the sniper role into a two-man job that takes 5 minutes to take one shot, rather than I can sit on a hill. Yeah. Okay, that's my range. Click up to 1,500.
It's like
will it take that long?
You ever seen with Aphex when we had the ballistics modules on? I'd just call out a number and he'd range to that because I had the papers sitting at my desk.
Like range table.
Because like I played with Aphex before and we'd ranged out to kill stuff. So I'd have 7.62 and like the 300. And just have the general ranges as mil dots. And the other one I had was I had my little formula on my desk to figure out the mortar altitude. The mortar elevation when firing.
That's awesome.
So like if somebody quickly needed to know fire that distance, I could just quickly do it by hand, like the old style. And people are saying like Arma's a new military, like 2035 is supposed to be using an artillery computer. But for some reason the artillery computer just absolutely takes the fun out of it for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. It takes away that busy work that people enjoy. Like, not to draw a comparison, but Elite Dangerous. People love that game because it's full of busy work. It's like, I've got to plot my course, and I've got to worry about how much fuel I've got. And that's what people love about it. Is the fact
it's the reward.
I got into Kerbal Space program recently. I've had it for a while, but just that whole plotting out. Like, you play the career mode, you're limited to what you can do. Mm-hmm. Like if I was in a if I was in the military now and I had a mortar, I'd use the computer because I know the computer is going to land that shot perfectly. So when I'm playing a game and I want to have fun, I want to do it the old method where I pen and paper and do it properly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, sorry, Hop. That's a good point because you've got the mortars aren't always as effective as they should be. So does Ace make them any better against infantry? Because I know that in the past you could fire off a round of like a set of mortars and they could only kill about 3 people.
I believe so, because on our server that we're running currently, the guys don't really go down to 7.62 as much as we'd like them to because of the dragon skin armor being CSAT.
Yep.
Whereas if you're running Ace, your 7.62 does better penetration damage to the dragon skin armor, so you drop guys properly.
Oh, good.
That's why a lot of us run Ace on the public server, even though it's not actually in the public server.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's the good thing about Ace. You can pretty much run it all the time because it's module based. If there's no module on the mission, then Ace isn't going to start up. So your medical system will be a little bit not working, but everything else will be doing a good job.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And I think really there's a lot that's going to have to be redone then, because you've talked about medic. That's clearly going to be something we have to retrain.
Yeah,
and if we do a marksman, then it'll have to be redone. But explosives is going to be slightly different, and certainly the static, the artillery component, that's going to be different because I think we'll do it properly. We'll go range tables.
Mortar again. Mortar should be easier because now we've got a mortar table. All you do is just read the numbers straight off.
Yeah.
Have proper teams. Yeah. Setting it up.
That will be interesting as well. We won't have to do a full retrain, I don't think. But
Matt, you can load your gunner's weapon.
Your what?
So,
like, your gunner will be aimed on the target, and you being the assistant, you spot the target, and you can load the shell for the gunner.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So it also means that the gunner can stay trained on that target. He doesn't have to worry about reacquiring it. He can just follow his target while you reload him.
Yeah, and now you have an actual reason to pat people on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You ever watched,
yeah.
Is it The Matrix Revolutions, where there's that chick with the shaved head?
Yes.
And then there's that black chick that loads up the rocket launcher and taps her on the head, and she like leans forward and shoots it.
That's the strangest comparison I've ever heard.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's gonna be like that. It's just gonna be awesome. You know, like, alright, you're loaded.
It doesn't end well for the girl with the rocket launcher. I just
No,
remind
it
you of
doesn't.
that.
But like, you know how when you tap people, like as in, tapped, you're loaded, ready to fire, you tap them and it'll bump them and they'll miss.
Yeah. they need a sound effect for the tapping, I think, because
What, you
it
want a
tells
little
you. Like
on
just
the
like
head.
like that. That'd be so cool. There's someone tapping you and you'd hear the noise. I think that'd just bring it all home.
Was it Spanny who discovered the tinnitus?
What?
Oh god, it's
Like,
horrible.
The framework by default automatically puts your earplugs in if your deafening, like ear deafening's running, but I took that off, so now you actually have to put your earplugs in, remember. Otherwise, like, it works in two ways. Firstly, if something loud happens, you get a bit of tinnitus and the ringing in the ear. Secondly, if this happens to you quite a bit during the mission, you'll go almost deaf.
Oh,
So you just
brilliant.
have that constant ringing for the rest of the mission.
So you have permanent hearing damage.
Yeah, you
Wow,
have
that's
permanent
like
hearing
Dad
damage.
Simulator for me.
It's like
Yeah.
real life. Yeah.
Permanent hearing damage in-game and partial hearing damage in real life.
That
Yeah, 'cause-
reminds me a lot of. Oh, sorry, Hup. You go.
I was going to say, yeah, because I played, I think it was on the main server when I was first trying at Ace. I was in a chopper, I didn't have earplugs, and I had miniguns on it. So I think it was a Little Bird, so your cockpit's open. I fire the miniguns, I'm like, oh god, that's squealing, what is that? And then I realized it was Thing, but I couldn't stop firing because I was engaging something. And so in my headphones, I had a horrible, because the tinnitus squeal in Ace is actually almost a painful sound for me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's horrible.
It's in that range of being painful, so you don't
Like,
want to hear it.
You can get rid of it. You can delete the PBO for that actual module. But, I'm leaving mine in.
Yeah,
Well, it's a lot
it's
like-
immersion.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot like in Rainbow Six. If you guys have ever played Rainbow Six, I think it's Gold. If you get flashbanged, or if someone throws a grenade at you, or if a round goes off, if a gun goes off too close to you, you'll get this ringing. But it carries, and it's really friggin' loud. But it carries over into if you die and you respawn, or you change into the next guy, it carries over. So for the rest of the game, you've got this ringing punishing you because someone fired too close to your head.
Oh, God. Oh, that reminds me. Ace has the compression. Like, if you're standing near the front of the tank, when it fires, the pressure wave coming out of the barrel and knock you to the ground.
Jesus.
That's another cool one.
It
like
really
that.
is turning Armour into that game that when people say to me, oh, so you play video games? And I said, well, kinda. Then I tell them a few things about what happens in Armour. They go, that doesn't sound like a game. Well,
Yeah.
no, why would you want to do maths?
Yeah, it's this game that's boring as shit unless you actually get into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
No,
it's coming very soon to us then. It's obviously out. 3.1.1 or something
Yeah.
available. And
Yeah.
we will be using that in the
That's
next
what we're
couple
gonna
of
be using,
weeks.
I've got the framework ready to go, and then it'll just be a matter of playing a couple missions to realize how much gear we need. Because obviously medical gear has different effectiveness, all that kind of stuff. Like, all the items are fine, but it's just mainly medical gear that I need to match up to how much we need.
medical gear is going to be insane because it
Yeah.
goes from you just need morphine and EpiPen and some bandages to morphine,
Yeah, but
EpiPen.
don't worry, only the medics need to worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
everybody basically gets 5 bandages and 1 morphine stick. And then the medic will have 4 different kinds of bandages. He'll have loads of atropine, because in case you get gassed, which won't happen because that's not incorporated.
Yeah,
Sorry, implemented. Yet I'm still making the medic carry all the atropine. If you want to know how to make atropine, come and talk to me. I'll teach you how to extract it from the nightshade plant. But, on an industrial scale. But anyway,
Next YouTube video.
next YouTube video, me with a bloody sock slit extractor. Anyway, and then you have your morphine, your epinephrine, and then you've got your surgical kits, your personal aid kits, your saline, which, field medics carry, and then your blood and your plasma, which you've got to keep in a vehicle, otherwise they go off because of the heat. That's going to be another fun one. Like you got to
Wait, so will there have to be a vehicle for that kind of stuff?
You just got to keep it in any vehicle. But I've put a case in the framework, so now we're going to have a dedicated medical vehicle.
Yeah, is that
want to have it?
Sorry, does that also, like the saline and the blood? Does actually, can you keep it in a ammo box per se?
It's got to be a box or a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say a box would be good. But I really, it's going to be really good.
There's a lot of stuff that I need to just work out the values for. Like even the F3 guys, they're not too sure. Like Ace gives a recommended of what you should have, and then F3 is kind of like guessed of what you need. And because Ace is so new, nobody's really played around with it enough.
Well, we can always just play missions.
Find their balance.
We can always just play missions and test it out and figure out what works for us anyway. Personalize it a bit.
That's why I'm still calling this a dev build. Because nothing's polished yet. It's all ready to go, but it just needs like some tweaking.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good once it's implemented.
Alright.
And what the things that we're going to be able to do with it's just going to be extreme. And because it's such an open mod too, because you can go to it. They did the same thing with AGM, where things like the Helo Pilot face interface, those sort of things. Other modders are going, okay, can you put this mod into the thing and actually make it part of Ace, so you don't have to have 4 separate mods for one thing. I find that's really good as well.
Speaking of mods, shall we get moving on because of time?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, we've got a couple new mods that are going onto the server, so that's all BTEC guys, listen to this. We're going to have ASR AI, which is going to be server-based, because I'm not going to make people install it on the clients, because it can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to installing stuff. That changes the way the AI behave. They'll actually, I think they re-gear themselves or seek out ammunition. They'll use buildings. It's a lot of AI tweaks that the game really needs. The next one is Late's Op4 pack, which adds lots of different clothes. So Afghan, they have ISIS, which is a new one, so you can make a mission where we're killing ISIS, all that kind of stuff. The framework is going to have the PMC gear as the AAF. So the new framework with the Ace in it, that'll have PMC, which is a skinned AAF. It'll have America, which is a skinned NATO. It'll have Guerrillas, which are a skinned FIA. And it'll have Russia, which is a skinned of CSAT. But yeah, it adds, I think, a couple other different factions, like Afghan Militia. And stuff like that, which is, a little bit of extra stuff, so you're not always fighting CSAT.
It's also going to be better for immersion rather than fighting CSAT as the rebels in whatever.
Yeah, well, I got to skin them to make it easy, but yeah, it's nice fighting other people. And Hopstar, tell us about Melb, because I haven't used it.
Don't drool.
Oh god.
Just what is it?
Sorry, I'm not drooling, something else, but anyway. Melb stands for... I can't actually remember exactly what it stands for, but it's to do with the little birds. So there's a couple of guys that have been making this mod for a while, I think, and they finally sort of publicized it and made it a thing. They take the little birds and bring them up to what today's current sort of militarized little birds have.
Mod link in description.
Yeah, check the mod link, download it. If you're a Helo pilot and you love flying the little birds, this is the mod for you, because they've taken the Armor 2 little bird, brought it into Armor 3, upgraded it, and made it's so much more responsive than the Armor 3 things. The major differences are the weapon sets. On there's four variants. There's a standard little bird which just has a camera on the front, so all of them have a camera, which has got a couple of different things. Vision modes that Copilot can use. So think the Hellcat camera. The second version has the skids for up to 6 infantry units to sit on the sides, but it takes out the back seats, so you've only got 6 units on the sides and that's it. The third version has, it's basically the standard little bird in Armor 3, but they've reduced the amount of rockets you carry to be more realistic, and they've increased the amount of 7.62 you have. So you go, I think you lose about 5 to 10 rockets, but you gain about 4,000 rounds of ammunition. So you can really sort of let go on those gun runs really well. And the final version has a 50 cal and rockets. So they've made them a little bit different. But in terms of flying them, I've played around them for probably 2 days, and I love them. They're very agile, but they're also really stable. Like I find the Arma 3 helicopters can be a little unstable at times. So you're trying to do some low speed maneuvers, like just hover sitting there. I always find myself swaying. Where these guys, they seem to have a nice balance that you don't have to continuously overcorrect yourself. But yeah, Halo pilots, get this mod. It is the number one to have. And it, not to go back to dyslexia, but if you watch his videos, they're the little birds that he's been flying recently. And mission making wise, it's going to be interesting to see how they drop in, because there'll be a nice variant to what we've got at the moment.
Yeah. So that's helicopters. I really want to put a jet mod in, but obviously, like, see, the mod is small because it's only 70 megs, but it's a mod that is like dedicated to the Super Hornet, so you know it's a good mod when the entire mod focuses on one unit. Problem is, being like a community of about 15 regular players, so let's say a total about 20, or a total of about, I don't know, what are we at? But, more than, we get a regular 15. You can't really put a jet role in your mission. No. So we're kind of just sticking with the RHS jets, which are the A10 and the Su-25, both CAS.
Yeah.
But the Super Hornet is amazing.
The mod problem is that
I'm making a video on that Super Hornet.
the jet problem is that it's such a specific role. You've got two options: have everyone in jets and have like a jet fighting mission, or have your jet pilots sit in base and wait.
Yeah, but
and wait.
I'm going to pilot a jet, I'm going to sit in the base, and I'm going to go buy a Zoo magazine at the server and sit at my desk and read a Zoo magazine until we get that call for CAS.
Which is probably the most immersive part of the game.
That's the most immersive thing ever. Sitting at base reading a magazine. And then when you do get called in, you'll feel all the more special because, that's your time to shine.
I agree. It does work, but we've just got to be careful that.
But like, if we do get the Super Hornet, then we'll also have to get that mod dedicated to the Flanker E, so that way we've got two sort of jets that can pair off against each other. So whether we want it, I built the framework surrounding NATO, and I try to put in as much as I can for CSAT and AAF, but they're not really where my thing's at. So everything's focused towards NATO, so I'm always looking at NATO improvements.
Just need to get more people so you can have your jets.
I know.
That's all we need.
Come join Borderline Tactical. We even get Americans on the pub server and they get great ping.
Paz, how can people join Borderline Tactical or find out anything about us?
Really good question.
Hey, mister.
Come on then.
What? No, I'm just saying it's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
You do indeed.
That's a good Tressany. Try it.
You've answered that question how many times now? Easiest way to find us is go to borderlinetactical.com.au. We have a website there that has everything to do with Arma and the other parts of our community. We have a couple other servers with teams.
Don't say Minecraft. Don't say Minecraft. Don't say Minecraft.
You just said Minecraft. So yes, there's a Minecraft community as well.
It's a little one.
It's a little one. Most of the servers are very heavily moderated and looked after. So
we've got a good server crew.
Yeah, we look after our servers. So you're not going to have, if people are griefing and being idiots, we tend to deal with them as quickly as possible. Other than that, you can find Paz on YouTube by searching Paz Rules.
And I live on this TeamSpeak. Yes, if you want the TeamSpeak IP, you got to find it yourself.
Yeah, I have no idea how you're a med student.
I'm not a med student. I'm a medical science student. But anyway.
And we also, we have the TeamSpeak, but you'll have to find that off the website, or by talking to one of us on the servers we run.
If you do join the TeamSpeak, it won't let you inside unless an admin or a moderator gives you visitor permissions. So don't freak out if you can't change channel. Just poke an admin, they're all friendly.
Yeah, or poke anyone. And generally you'll join us while you're in a game, so we'll already know who you are, as long as your name's the same as what you've got in game.
What's next on the agenda?
So next time, we've had a vote in the absence of Spanny, and we've decided to steal his idea. We had a fabulous idea. And something came up a little while ago about the various different Arma personalities. So we're going to do a little bit on that, I think.
Now,
possibly something else, depending on how long we natter for.
That's your thing, isn't it, Ush? Spanny was telling me. Actually, no, you were telling me.
I was.
What do you mean by just curiously? What do you mean by personalities? As in personalities within our armor group, or personalities as in armor in general?
I think there's a little bit of both.
Ooh,
So-
that should be interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Are we going to do the scientific thing about all the different types of players and like how you're a?
What the dichotomous key of like fill out this survey and we'll tell you what job you're going to get in the future.
Yes, all BTAC members will be getting a survey to fill in the next 2 weeks, and we would appreciate a full and honest completion of said survey.
I remember that from Daria. Oh, petroleum dispensation. I'm going to be an oil tycoon. No, that says you're going to dispense gas. Oh, I'm going to be a gas jockey.
It's just going to be one of those things that tells you what job you're specifically allowed to do, and that's what we're going to do. No one's going to get to pick anymore. We're going to scientifically choose what
That's
roles
gonna be a
everyone
bit
has
of
to
fun.
have.
Nothing beats a British man telling you what to do.
Oh, because we're good at it.
Yes.
We're
Hey,
used to it as Australians.
we might be still under the whatever queen, whatever her name is,
Matriarchy.
monarch. We might be
Wait,
still under the
matriarchy's
monarch,
man.
but we're our own goddamn country.
Mute
Sort
me
of.
in that section,
Yeah.
please. I
Can
never
you-
said
can-
anything.
Can you please get rid of John Howard there, please, Mr. English people?
And,
John Howard,
we've got a
what?
request.
Oh,
We've got a
sorry.
request for a
What's
shout
his
out.
name?
We should cut out this whole section that we just said then.
Azza wants to be announced, who may in fact be in the next one, I believe.
Oh,
May
nice.
have a go. Guest. He just said he wants me to say his name.
Oh, Az
shout
is
out to
actually in the
Azman.
military.
There you go. Asman, you're in.
Yes.
Alright.
There you can. I'll let him introduce his role in the military.
I think we can wrap it on that.
Spoilers.
Mm.
Good night.
See ya.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Why do you want to say something?
I was supposed to say hi, Mum. Hi, Dad.
Oh,
I miss
okay.
you. Please let me out of the basement soon. It's been 3 years.
I'm Joseph Fritzl, and no window is my idea.